Hi guys, I will be showing you this beautiful Valentine's Day nail set on myself, and I will be doing it on my left hand. I previously already did my right hand. I do just add crystals towards the end. I'm going to be using my cuticle pusher. This cuticle pusher is from Models Ones. They send it to me when they send me their products, and it's a really nice cuticle pusher, as well as Sally's Beauty also has similar ones to this. And I am just being gentle, but at the same time I'm making sure I push back my cuticle as much as I can so that I can clean off any dead cuticle on my nail. And after I do this, I'm gonna go in with the other side of the cuticle pusher and use that sharp side of the pusher to clean any dead cuticle on my nail plate and remove that just before I go in with my cuticle nail bit to help take anything else that's really stuck on my nail. Now I'm going to go in with my cuticle bit. This is from Erica ETA, and this is a really nice cuticle bit. I just am very gentle. It seems like I'm being very hard, but I am very gentle, and I always lift the cuticle bit off my nail plate, and I just clean off any dead skin on there, everything off the nail plate to make it a lot better adhesion of the product. And you want to make sure you angle the nail bit very parallel to your nail so you don't dig any type of holes in your nails, or just so you don't have any imperfection when using this. You want to make sure you use it very properly, very slow RPM, and just as parallel as possible. And if you do lift it a little bit, that's totally fine, as long as it's not completely lifted so that you don't do any damage. And I just do this to all 5 fingers. As soon as I am done, I'm going to be using my disposable sand nail bits, and I have a ton of these that I bought when I first started as a student, so I am starting to use them up now. I stopped using them and started using ones that I can disinfect and sanitize myself, but I figured why not use these sand bands, and I'm using a medium one, and I am just being very, very gentle. You can see it spinning. That's how it's spinning, very, very slow. And I am just cleaning off anything around the cuticle area, as well as filing very gently the rest of the nail, so that when I clean it off with some alcohol, it is already ready for the nail tips to be adhere to them. And you just want to be gentle with these sanding bands, not to get too close to the cuticle, because you can accidentally nip a little bit at the skin if you are not being very careful and very gentle, especially on very small fingernails. So the more you work with these, the easier they become to use. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. And then after this, I just dust off all the powder and anything else that's on the nail before I go in to apply my full nail tips. And I did see a few hangnails, so if you do see hangnails, which are just dry pieces of skin that are basically standing up calling your name, go ahead and nip them right off. I did get the cuticle nipper from it's Tweezerman brand. It is from Amazon. It is around $30. It's a nice nipper if you have problems with your hands or anything like that. Now I'm going to go in with the full coverage stiletto nail tips. These are in clear. I got these from Amazon as well. I wanted something that was already pre-shaped almond type of shape for me, just to make it easier on myself, not to do too much filing. And the nail glue is from Dollar Tree. It is 2 nail glue sticks like that for $1, which is a pretty good deal, especially when you run out and you have to go and get a few. So I would definitely recommend getting that. It's really nice, and it comes with a little stand, so you don't have to be laying the glue down. You can just stand it up while you apply the nail tips. Now I did do just the bottom part of the nail tips, and I wanted to make sure that wherever my free edge of my nail ends, that it blends in seamlessly to the nail tip, so that way I don't have to do any extra filing trying to blend in the side walls at all. Especially with this kind of shape that's already pre-shaped, it kind of starts becoming rounded on the sides of the nail tip, so you want to make sure that you measure it correctly and have the right size for your nails. And I did that. Now I do them just a little bit more taken in from the sides, and I'm going to be using my Alpha number 9 oval Kolinsky brush. I do have a code for this, and I'm also going to be using Mia Secrets Clear and their monomer. I wanted to go back to trying their monomer. I know it has a very strong odor, but I used it when I first started doing nails, and I just wanted to go back and try it. This is also Mia Secrets Cover Pink. I love their Cover Pink, and these two are glitter mixes I personally made. I do have a video on my YouTube channel where I make these glitter mixes. I'm also using Young Nails Protein Bond, and that is what I'm going to be putting on my nails. I am completely almost running dry of this. That is why it's taking me so long to apply this, because the bristles are not grabbing enough of the liquid. So I have to keep going back into the bottle and making sure I'm grabbing as much as I possibly can to fully cover the natural nail. You do not have to put this on the nail tips, just on the nails themselves. And as soon as I finish applying this, I do go in with my Mia Secret Clear acrylic as well as my Mia Secrets monomer. And I did find these little hearts, 3D hearts. I don't remember where I got them from. I think it's from AliExpress, or they were gifted to me. It's been such a long time that I received these little hearts, but I do a very small amount of clear, and that is what I'm using. I'm using the gold, and I'm using the hot pink hearts. I did also have like a silver holographic heart, but I figured these two would go together a lot more, and I kind of like the golden hot pink vibe together. So after I apply the very thin coat of clear, I keep wetting my brush with monomer so that I can grip onto the hearts, and I apply them. And as soon as I feel that the clear acrylic is drying up, I go in with a little bit more, very gentle. I don't want nothing bulky, nothing too harsh, because then it becomes very thick of a nail, and I definitely don't want that. After I use all these hearts, I still have a lot of gaps in between the hearts, and then I start using these little circles. As you can see, they're very, very holographic circles. Some of them are like a purple pink, and the other ones are gold. So they're not exactly the same colors as the hearts, which I do really like, because it just stands out and pops more. When everything is exactly the same color, it's a little bit harder to see. And once I am happy with the outcome, I move on to my next nail, let that fully dry before I encapsulate it. And I'm going in with my hot pink glitter. This is like a rose gold, but a little bit darker of a pink. And I put one bead, and I bring this down. This is going to be an ombre glitter nail. So I bring it down, and as soon as I bring this down, I make sure if I need any more to do that ombre effect, I definitely do that. I just really wanted to focus on the cuticle area, wanted to focus on the consistency and the thickness of it up there before I start worrying about the ombre effect. It's really your choice, whatever works for you and whatever you prefer. And this is the bead that I used to bring down the ombre, and I ended up wanting to put some of the hot pink hearts in here because they're slightly a little bit different color than the pink glitter I'm using, so they'll still pop, but it won't be so much. So they'll move every time I move the nail from side to side, which is really nice. And I do the exact same technique with gold glitter and the gold hearts, and they are two different golds as well, so it will give a nice kind of contrast of color. And the thumb will be the one I will be doing the gold, and you see me working that. I'm sorry I come out of the camera. I'm still trying to make sure I keep an eye on the camera while working. I tend to zone off sometimes and focus so much on the nails. As soon as I am happy with the little ombre that I do, I go in with the gold hearts. And I do let everything dry before I encapsulate it. I don't go right into encapsulating it. I just feel like it works best when I let it fully dry to make sure everything stays put. Now for my index fingernail, I did go off the camera a little bit. That's why I don't have the rest of the recording. But I do more of the transparent nail towards the end with all the hearts. And I'm going to be using the Mia Secrets Cover Pink to do the ombre. So I'll add that to the cuticle and bring it down and leave the rest of the area clear. And I'm also going to be encapsulating my glitter nail. And if you're having trouble when the acrylic sticks to your brush like it was doing for mine, that means it's too dry. It's getting too dry, so it's not moving around. So I did go back in with my monomer to grab more liquid so that it blends and goes on very smoothly. You'll see me do that a lot. I always go back into my liquid, clean my brush, because sometimes acrylic gets stuck in there. It happens. So you just want to not be afraid to keep cleaning your brush after every single time. If you would like, if that works for you, definitely do it, because it's something that has helped me. Now this is where I go in with my Mia Secrets. I do this both to my index finger and my pinky. And I start off with the small bead. I focus the cuticle area and then bring out what I can. With the second bead is when I'll focus on the ombre effect. And you just want to make sure you're also not too heavy with this, because I am still going to go in with clear to encapsulate it, to encapsulate the hearts. And I do a little bit by the pink. Don't need to do too much because I had already built a decent apex with the pink. And the good thing about this Mia Secrets Cover Pink is that you can file on top of it and it works great. So you don't need to encapsulate the pink if you don't want to. I usually don't. I just do go a little bit closer to the cuticle when I encapsulate, because I do have some hearts there and I want to make sure they're fully covered and sealed. As well as my next finger, my middle finger that I'll be doing all pink, I do not encapsulate that one. Now I'm doing the middle finger like I previously said, and this one's going to be a solid pink. I felt like there was so much going on in my nails already that I needed at least one sort of solid color, because even this solid color has like very fine glitter in it. So I just wanted to do something a little bit more relaxed. And if you don't work fast, these beads will dry. But like I said, I always like to focus on working the cuticle area first and then bringing down the beads and working from there. That's just my preference. But if you like working with bigger beads, definitely recommend a bigger brush so that your bead can fully cover the nail. When it's my hands, I just, for some reason, I prefer smaller beads. When it's clients, I don't mind moving up to a size 14 or even a size 16 brush. But when it comes to my nails, I like to have full control. And it's a little bit harder to work on my own nails, especially when I know I've done things the whole day and then I sit here to do my nails and it takes me a few hours. So it is a lot for me personally. Now that they're dry, they're ready to be filed on. I'm using my medium safety bits and I'm just cleaning off really well anything by the cuticle, anything that can prevent the adhesion of my nails. So I want to make sure if anything's sticking out, if anything didn't fully adhere, it will come right off. And I will just leave a nice slick finish so that it's ready to be buffed and then be polished with a top coat. And then some of these I do tend to build my apex a little too much, but I'd rather be safe than not have enough and have to go back in there to get more to build an apex. So some of these you'll see me work a little bit more by the cuticle area or by the apex area to kind of bring it down a little bit. Don't want nothing too out there. I still want to be able to see an apex, but I don't want it to be so leveled up high. I need it to just be strong enough to stay on my nails for my next fill, which is normally 3 to 4 weeks. I usually wait forever to get my fill in. I guess that's just when you do nails, you tend to not be so into your nails, if that makes any sense. But I know with this pink one, I did add a little bit too much of an apex, so that's what I will be removing, the sides, to make sure it's not bulky. So when your nails are a little too bulky looking, like, you want to make sure you also file down on the side of the nail, because that has a lot to do with the shape. It's not just the bulk you see when you have the nails facing to the side. It's also when you're looking at your nails facing front, you want to make sure you bring in anything from the cuticle down to the side wall. All that has to be taken in. And the free edge as well, because I don't want a thick free edge. I just want the highest point of my nail to be the apex, and that's it. So I do this to all the nails, and then after this I'm gonna go in with my file, my hand file, and I do use 100 grit file. So I'm gonna go in and shape them. The great thing about these nail tips, this is my first time using these, which I love, because usually I have to make this shape, and I used to love to wear this shape. If you look at my old, really old nails when I first started doing, there's a lot of this shape because that's what I like. Not a lot of people are a fan of it, but I like that type of shape. It's like a mini stiletto nail. And I would always make the shape, and I finally found these almond stiletto type of shape, and I'm like, yes, this is the shape that I like to have on my hands. If it's not a really taken in coffin, then it's this. And I really like them because you could make them very pointy stiletto type, or you can round off the edge, the point of it, and make it more of an almond shape. So it's really your choice, and they're already pre-shaped, so it saves you so much time. Now I'm going to be adding crystals to these nails. I ended up deciding that because the pink looked too plain. I know I said I wanted less craziness, but you know, crystals are always going to be there. I'm using Kira Sky Base, and I'm also using Sprinkle & Co. Solidifier, which is just an activator. I'm also using Yogi's Topcoat, which has been one of my favorites actually. And the ones in my little cup cluster crystals are from Mexico, and the other ones are from Michael's. They're like a pink color Swarovski crystals, and I'm not sure if maybe AliExpress will have some of the ones on the right side similar to them that come like that, but these were like in a little small clear glass container from Mexico, and they're really nice. I do like them because it has other 3D art in them. Now I'm going to apply the glue very thinly, and I move the crystals to where I want them to go. This glue does take a little bit longer to dry, so I'm able to move them around as much as I can and want. And for this particular style that I'm doing the crystals, I don't put the activator till I finish applying the crystals. If you're doing some type of design or are doing a lot more crystals than what I'm doing, I would say work with a few at a time and assure them by putting the activator so that they don't move. But since I'm just doing around the cuticle, basically 2 bands around the cuticle and that's it, they really don't move anywhere. So it works so much easier for me to just do it towards the end. And then I will be applying the top coat very thinly, and that will just double assure that they won't move and that they'll stay on 3 to 4 plus weeks without them coming off. And my favorite part, the top coat. Now I did get this pink stand from AliExpress. I definitely recommend that you can get it from Amazon, eBay. It's just a fingernail stand for easy results to do your own nails, or when you're doing specific client designs or crystals so they're not moving, especially when they're on their phones or doing something else with their other hand. That way everything's kept nice and steady. And I am just gonna top coat each of these nails very thinly, but I do take my time because I want to make sure that they're fully covered and that it's not bulky or anything like that. And when I apply the polish to the crystals, I make sure that I do not apply it up on top of them. I just push in the gel towards them to fully seal, but I always clean off the crystals, just like I'm doing off camera, like always, just to make sure that none of that top coat got on top of the crystals and will remove the shine. So I always clean that off before I put it on the lamp. And also something I did not show here is that I also do the top coat behind my nails. Since a few of them are transparent, I want to make sure that they are as clear as possible by using a top coat from behind. And since like the pinky, I did use the pink from Mia Secrets, the cover pink, and I brought it down. Some of that glitter, some of that very fine glitter got in towards the end of the tip, which is fine. But if you want more of a crystal clear nail tip, I would suggest using a fully solid color to do the ombre without any glitter or anything on it that will come down towards the clear part of the nail. And I'm using my favorite Orly Gel FX Cuticle oil. This smells so good, and it works so nice, especially when I take pictures. And it's not crazy shiny, but it just looks so hydrating. So I apply this, I let this sink in for a minute or two, then I rinse off my hands, and this is the end result of my nails. I really hope you guys like it. If you guys have any ideas of what other nail design you want to see, go ahead and comment down below so I can definitely do that in the upcoming videos. Thank you guys so much, and let's continue to the next few chapters.
So, as you know, this is a rock challenge which everybody interprets differently, of course. What does it mean to you?
To me, rock can be so many different things: rebellious, more energy, letting yourself go, having the